lot of people ask me all the time, hey, why do you carry a Glock 43? It's a single stack 9mm, it's semi-automatic. I think Glocks are extremely reliable based off of my experience in the last 15 years with them and actually using them for work. Single stack versus double stack, it's really up to you and what your level of training is. A lot of different thought processes out there, methodologies, whatever. My personal one, I have a long time behind a gun and I'm perfectly comfortable carrying 8 rounds in a magazine. Just like everything else I've talked about, right? It's your capability or limitation. All right, so if you, if you're a little less confident and you want to have more ammunition, that's completely fine, right? But you're giving up maybe some comfortability, okay? Because I used to carry a Glock 19 and a double stack pistol does take up a little bit more room inside of the waistband. You've got to pick the right equipment for you, for your body type, right? All these different considerations. What most people, they don't talk to you like that. What they do is they market you a product, right, based off of like the new hotness. Well, I can tell you that you got to do a little bit more research in the new hotness. The practicality and the way that you run your gear, you've got to test it out, right? So if you're a bigger dude, you might want to side carry, in the waistband because ergonomically you can't get to appendix carry very fast. That's reality, right? Most people don't train or do things that way. And I'm a big fan of when you actually talk about EDC, again, comfortability, right? It has to be efficient, but it has to be comfortable so you're actually carrying all the time. And I'll make this really short because I've told enough stories already. We were doing CQB and basically a guy had a breaching shotgun, turned around, wasn't using good trigger discipline and safety discipline, and it was a Winchester shorty, and those things have like a hair trigger, and he rode the trigger when he turned around to stow it, and he ended up shooting his buddy in the calf and hit him, so the femoral runs down to like the popliteal. Yep. He's also a med guy, so super knowledgeable, right? But the popliteal vein runs off the femoral artery, so you can imagine how fast it bleeds when it gets hit. And that's right where he got shot with a 12-gauge slug. So within a matter of seconds, inside the house, he was in a pool of his own blood. Luckily, one of the instructors was super switched on, put a tourniquet on him, and then we ground evac'd him to Womack Army Medical Center. Again, I'm trying to capture your attention based off of my own personal experience of not only have I seen people get killed in combat, but I've seen people get extremely fucked up in training. And typically what it looks like is you're trying to be 10 times more high speed than you really aren't. And that goes for even guys that were in the community that I came out of in the military. So don't forget, fundamentally build yourself up. And I've heard all kinds of people weigh in on all kinds of different opinions I carry around in the chamber typically, whether you carry around in the chamber or not. If you don't, make sure you train on the range the same way. So if I carry a dry chamber, the first thing that comes when the gun comes out, I'm racking a round, okay? That should be in your training methodology or whatever you do. Again, depending on where you're gonna carry, slow it down, do some things fundamentally prior to getting out on the range and being John Wick, okay? So I'm gonna practice the draw a lot, slowly. I may grab a buddy and have him actually film me with his iPhone just to see the mechanics of what I'm doing. I'm actually recommending that this is the kind of stuff that you do. Speed will come with time, okay? But fundamentally build yourself up. With everyday carry stuff, there's a ton of different things to think through. I can't stress enough training, right? If you go and get your CCW permit or CCP permit or wherever they call it, wherever you live, that's not where the training stops. Like that was entry level to get your concealed carry license or whatever it's called in your state. Go and train. You need to come, we run courses, other guys run courses. You can go out and train on your own, but it's hugely important if you're gonna carry that tool, right, that can make a difference, then you need to be proficient with it. It's not just good enough to do the initial training and then set the gun down or carry it with you every day and never have used it again. And then all of a sudden on the day, when you're expected to perform with it, you don't have the capability. So back to the tourniquet part, I believe that people should carry a tourniquet on them as well. Some form of a device to stop a major bleed. So like I was talking about earlier on the hike with your med kit and where you carry it, I think at a minimum you should have a tourniquet on you. I plan and I pack things based off of an expectation of the environment that I live in. Car accidents, maybe a gunshot wound, major bleeder, all right, that kind of stuff. So when you're packing this stuff out, just think about that. So Mike and I have actually done a podcast on kind of upgrading your situation in your vehicle and the way that we look at it. And that was another reason why we did the everyday mobility bags. And we wanted something inside of the vehicle that could actually be kind of serve both purposes, where if you had to get out on foot, you had a bunch of stuff with you that you carried in the vehicle. Again, practical, efficient. Again, with the vehicle, it's an upgraded equipment carrying platform. And so when you contingency plan, it should be layered like that. So your medical inside of the vehicle could actually be a step up. So it could be a full-on aid bag vice what you're carrying, right? Again, like stuff I described. So whatever equipment you pick, you got to train with it, okay? You got to understand the capabilities and limitations with it. I'm not saying anything crazy. This is all stuff that we can all comprehend, right? But think in those terms when you're doing that kind of stuff.